Every Final Destination film that comes out, I ask why the protagonist is hanging around all these annoying, terrible people. It makes so much more sense if they're family.
Maybe Death's not actually coming for our family. Because that would be crazy.
They're back again. Final Destination somehow rested dormant for almost 15 years, which is crazy. But they're back and they're doing that thing where in a sequel they try to tie everything from all the previous films together into one big thing. Like Saw does all the time, constantly. Yeah. So why does it work when these guys do it? Final Destination Bloodlines is about Stephanie, who has a recurring nightmare about her estranged grandmother's premonition that saved many lives decades ago. So she returns home to see her brother and cousins, who she's kind of been estranged from lately, and then has to reconnect with her estranged mother. The word estranged is losing all meaning, yeah. And then she finds out that Death has been tracking them because he's been tracking all these people that died, or should have died, at this skyscraper decades ago, and has been slowly, very slowly killing them off. I mean, this guy in most films goes through, like, 10 people a week, so like, I know there were like hundreds of people there, but like, really? It's been like 50 years? At least? More? Doesn't make sense. So Stephanie has to use her grandmother's ramblings and crazy drawings that she's been gathering for decades to try and cheat Death and save her family before they are all killed in bafflingly elaborate ways. Classic Final Destination banter. And yet, it's actually really good. And this is the part that stunned me, because, I mean, at best, Final Destination is fine. This was actually really well done. The opening scene in that skyscraper restaurant, the same one from Drop, pretty much, it's so good. It was such a fantastic setup. That entire sequence was probably the #1 single best thing that Final Destination's ever done. It was incredible watching that in the cinema. To be fair, I've never seen a Final Destination film in the cinema, but this blew me away in a way that none of the others have come close to. This is the best Final Destination film. How often do you get to say that the 6th entry in a horror film franchise is the best one? One of the big things that I find, probably the biggest almost, that American cinema like overloads us with is conspiracy theorists who are correct. Like, we shouldn't be giving these people so much vindication. Anyway, this film is it's just ridiculous. It's the opening sequence, all of the good things about Final Destination, all of the great like aura it brings with it, and all the build up you get, the tension, the way it rises and it brings it together. That opening sequence weeps with them, like it is just chock-a-block. And the other big thing I think that was important here is that the film doesn't take itself too seriously. Final Destination as a concept is so unserious, it's so goofy, and yet the films are serious as a heart attack most of the time. This, choosing to bring it back and just be a little bit like dope, like silly with it at times, that was an incredibly important decision, and it worked so well, I thought. Also, and this is heart-wrenching, Tony Todd getting to do a farewell scene. I mean, it was meant to be just, I think, a farewell to the franchise and to the fans of the franchise, because he's the only person that's been in every film. But it ended up being so much more than that, because in that scene, it just so happened that he was saying lines like, I intend to enjoy the time I have left, and life is precious, enjoy every second. He was saying these things, and then he died in December. So this was his last ever film. That was his last ever scene on camera that he was saying those things in, and that is just... I mean, I know that wasn't intentional the way that worked out, but it is heart-wrenching addition to watching this film and seeing that horror icon saying that kind of thing. Like, this franchise is just a bloodthirsty mess normally, but to get audiences to cheer for the brutal death of a child, that is special. It makes sense in context, trust me. I do think that opening sequence, one of the best horror sequences I've seen in recent times. It was incredible. I think the whole film is just a clear level above any other Final Destination film. I mean, gosh darn it, they are rough. And sending Tony Todd off right, making it a family affair, which just worked to perfection, and having all the tension, because I mean, there were people like convulsing near me in the cinema, just their bodies going wild because they were so like freaked out by just the tension, but not even by anything in particular happening. Just the way that they keep the tension and raise it to extreme levels for some of those sequences. It was amazing, and I felt like it was defined by each set piece, because it was... Sometimes Final Destination films, they just jam them in there and things just happen randomly and quickly. And this one didn't do that so much. It very much felt like each sequence was its own unique thing, and they weren't just having throwaway ones in there. Despite having a strong level of comedy to this, they managed to take the idea of Final Destination seriously while poking a little bit of fun at it. It's the perfect mix, so I'm giving the most fucked up dude perfect video yet 4 stars. Seriously, like, when was the last time you said, oh yeah, I loved the 6th entry in that horror franchise? The 6th? Like, my goodness, kudos to them. This is honestly it's such a reinvention. It's the Fast and Furious 5 of horror movies.